Nigeria is 62 years old. Here are reasons for sober reflection and adjustments by our leaders. 1. In 1960, Nigeria has only 2 universities. Today it has 40 federal universities, 40 state universities, and 61 private universities. However, its people have to run to Ghana, a country with only 9 universities to study. The reason is that the 141 universities in Nigeria are below international standards due to corruption, mismanagement, and neglect. The country, according to UNICEF, has 10.5 million children outside primary school. It means in 20 years, about 30% of Nigerians will not be able to secure employment as security men, because the job will require basic literacy as a qualification. This goes to say adding weight is not equal to good health. 2. 20 years ago, India has the largest number of pure scientists in the world, but it was considered a poor country compared to China, because those numbers of scientists did not transform India into a net exporter of goods and services. It was until India changed its ways and started producing technicians like China that began manufacturing goods and earned the respect of the world. Numbers matter, but vision matters most. The Indians were not seeing the world as the Chinese. Like India and China, Nigeria has abundant human capital that has been wasted by neglect due to poor attention to education. And because of that, our numbers produce nothing. At this age, with our size, we cannot produce needles, toys, and bicycles. These are simple products that don't require rocket science. 3. Today we have 193,600 km federal highway. Out of that length, only 28,200 kilometers are paved in the whole 60 years of the country's existence. The paved highways are death traps killing hundreds of people daily. Meanwhile, in 1960 Nigeria had 8,800 kilometers of paved federal highways in relatively good condition. The increase in the length without quality today does not translate to progress. Nigeria is considered the worst country among its neighbors in terms of road infrastructure. Quality matters more than numbers. 4. In 1960, Nigeria had 118 mission hospitals and 101 government hospitals. Today it has 22 federal medical centers, 23 giant teaching hospitals, about 46,000 state-owned hospitals/health centers, and hundreds of thousands of private hospitals, clinics, and dispensaries. But Nigerians run to Ghana to treat skin infections and the UK to treat ear infections. 5. In 1841 Britain and Wales had a population of 15 million people. However, Great Britain virtually held the entire world by the jugular, colonizing all and every important nation and defining their destiny. Dynamites come in small sizes. 6. Today US has a population of 325 million people, but controls and sets standards for the world with a population of 8 billion. By contrast, Nigeria has a population of 182 meters and a military of 400,000 strength, but is overwhelmed by a ragtag Boko Haram with a strength of 16,000 followers. 7. Nigeria has 91 million hectares of arable land, of which it is able to cultivate only 42% of it using crude and simple tools. Industrial scale holding is non-existent in Nigeria. Despite being able to produce large quantities of beans, sesame, cashew, cassava, cocoa beans, groundnuts, Arabic, kola nut, maize, melon, millet, palm kernel, palm oil, plantain, rice, rubber, sorghum, soybeans, bananas, and yam, yet Nigeria is not a net exporter of agricultural products and it imports food to feed its population. FOA report put Nigeria slightly ahead of Niger, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Burkina Faso, and Sierra Leone in food security. It's not how old you are but how well you are. It's not your numbers that matter but the quality,